Canada's federal budget was just released, and it's being called a new economic foundation for the country. It's a major plan with big implications for the energy, housing sector, and the economy as a whole. So let's break down the key highlights. The 2025 budget projects a $78 billion deficit, which is much higher than what the previous government forecasted and well above what the Conservatives said that they would support. The overall plan introduces $141 billion of new spending over the next 5 years to stimulate Canada's tariff-hit economy. Some of that will be internal cuts, with roughly 40,000 federal public service positions being cut. It's a clear sign from Ottawa that they're choosing growth and productivity, even if that means short-term, larger deficits. One of the biggest shifts is energy policy. The government says the emissions cap on oil and gas may no longer be needed and seems to be more supportive of new nuclear and LNG energy creation. Supporting new energy production and encouraging private sector investment in the energy sector will have positive impacts on the construction, housing, and manufacturing sectors if done right. The Major Projects Office is already active, which is designed to fast-track major developments such as critical mineral operations and things like the Toronto-Quebec high-speed rail, which is now scheduled to start construction in 4 years instead of 8. The budget also commits $51 billion over 10 years to total infrastructure, things like housing, roads, healthcare, which are all things that will create thousands of jobs nationwide. Ottawa is also taking back control of immigration, cutting temporary resident admissions by almost half next year while keeping permanent resident levels steady. The goal here is to ease pressure on the housing market and public service while keeping skilled workers in Canada. 2 headline tax changes were cut: the underused housing tax and the luxury tax on aircrafts and boats. Both of these taxes actually cost more to implement than the money that was received by the government. So to simplify things and not lose more money, these taxes are both being scrapped. The government is introducing a productivity super deduction, letting companies write off a larger share of their investments faster, along with new incentives for manufacturing, clean tech, and LNG infrastructure. It's a clear push to attract investment, boost competitiveness, and drive private sector growth across the country as we compete with the US. Overall, the 2025 budget leans heavily on growth, energy expansion, and increased productivity, while increasing defense spending to meet NATO's target. All of these incentives sound promising for a struggling Canadian economy, but they need to be executed well as competitiveness with the US and trade tensions continue to weigh on our growth and our economy. We'll see how this proposed budget plays out in the coming months, what's added, what's taken away, and what's actually followed through with. Thanks for watching this week's Real Estate Update. See you next week.